Aloha, beautiful souls. Welcome to A Better World with Adrienne. I'm so excited about today's podcast. I'm excited to go deep into a topic that I have seen impact my life so deeply, impact all my clients' lives, impact every single person on this planet's life, which is money. The idea of money, the relationship of money, and how to heal your relationship with money as a really, really important part of your destiny, your purpose, your life fully lived here on this planet, right here today, right now. So, this episode is a long time coming. I have yet to see one person, one client that does not have stickiness with money to clear up. I myself, at each level in my journey, each level in my path, I've experienced new insights, new blind spots, new portals that I get to heal to up level my relationship with money. And when I look at the world and the state of things, and if you're here in this community, if you press play first, I know you're interested in healing your money, at least in some regard. I know you probably want more money. You might be mystified with money. You're like, yeah, I want more, but like it's hard, it's sticky, it's weird. All of that is welcome. All of that is honestly completely normal. And I look at the state of the world and I just see a lot of people with really, really good hearts, people with really, really beautiful dreams, people with deep, deep, deep soul gifts that have such a hang up with money, have such a block with money that they end up blocking their greatness. They block their destiny. They say no when they want to say yes, or they say yes to things when they want to say no, all because of this reason of money. And it's become very, very clear to me that it's been such a deep part of my path and my transformation that I'm being called and asked to teach more on this out to the world. Like, do I teach and hold space and guide and help my clients with this? Yes, every single day. And I'm being called to teach more publicly about it. And I will say that it's edgy for me. It's edgy for me, especially in the past year. I've gone through so much in this area, especially in the spiritual space, that it feels a little bit edgy for me. And that is the place, my friends, where I know there's growth. So for me, it's growth teaching on this because, people get weird about money and people get nasty and people get activated, or they might call it being triggered. And what I really, really, really invite you into as you listen to this episode is, if you feel triggered throughout this episode or you feel activated, I want you to know that that activation is a choice point. That activation is a choice point that has arrived to you for you to alchemize, for you to heal, for you to transmute. Okay. Because when I'm speaking, there may be things I say that are very activating. They might be the opposite of what you currently believe or think. And the whole point of healing the relationship with money is it must change. And we must go to the root. And so, what I'm really going to do in this episode is speak clearly and potently to the root of these issues, the root of why you may have stickiness and a chronic, struggle with money, and very key tangible ways that you can really show up to this relationship differently and shift it and shift your whole reality as a result. So that's this episode. I'm excited, and let's dive in. So let us call upon the altar. The altar is how we say thank you in advance to spirit. And we set the stage for miracles. And we really just adorn our space for magic, for potency, and for transformation. So on the altar today, of course, I have money. I have a bill, a stack of bills of money. And the energy of money is on the altar. And we say thank you to money. And we say thank you to abundance. And we really tap into the codes of money as an energy, money as a frequency. On the altar, I have a rose quartz crystal, soaking my words, soaking this whole transmission with unconditional love, knowing that there might be challenges with this topic that arise, and a deep knowing that everything said right here, right now is for the highest timeline and good of all. May I be a clean channel for a purpose greater than me, and may my words and my thoughts and my actions and the thoughts and hearts and actions of every single person receiving this podcast, past, present, and future, be soaked in unconditional love. I have a white rose on the altar, a fresh start. Every single breath is a new beginning. Every single day is a new beginning. This is a brand new beginning in your relationship with money. And finally, I have the element of water on the altar. The element of water is here to cleanse, to clear, to purify. It is to remind each and every one of us that water is just like money. It is clean, it is clear, it flows. It is here to nourish us, all of us. It is here to help things grow. It is here to hydrate. And knowing that water is abundance and you are water. And the last piece of our altar is the element of air. So no matter what you're doing, where you're tuning in from, if you want to close your eyes, you can close your eyes, and we will take 3 deep breaths together to set this space. To begin, empty out completely. Inhale through the nose. Put your arms up to the sky and allow yourself to be big, like a starfish. Opening to the possibilities available in this episode. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale. Hold it at the top, and this time bring your arms above your head, placing your palms together like a needle, like a point, like an arrow. Keep holding your breath. Allow yourself to become an arrow pointing in a new direction for change. Exhale out the mouth. One last inhale through the nose. Feel divine white light covering your whole body, and deeply connect my heart with your heart with the hearts of all the listeners, and the human heartbeat of people around the globe. Feeling this connecting all of us, knowing that this is for each and every one of us and as part of something greater. Exhale out the mouth. And when you feel ready, gently blink open your eyes. If you had them closed, we are connected. The altar is set. The portal is open. And let's roll. Okay, my loves. How to heal your relationship with money. So I have 7 bullet points that I'm going to channel on, all on your relationship with money. And I just invite you to keep an open mind. I invite you to allow things to challenge you. I invite you to allow them to be confronting. And I invite you to let this episode be a line in the sand for what you believe about money and your lived experience with money. So the first thing to share is the reason why I'm doing this episode is because every single day I see amazing spiritual people say no to themselves because of money. And when you're saying no to yourself, you're saying no to your soul's mission. You're saying no to your soul's purpose. You're saying no to your soul, which is your essence, for what you desire, for what brings you joy, for what you love. And that, my friend, is diluting your wattage that you are living at. So when it comes to money, money is a relationship. Money, truly, when it comes down to it, is how we express ourselves fully on this plane. I cannot get the food that makes my body feel good without money. I cannot take flights to places where I'm called to go spiritually without money. I cannot invest in my own healing and my own mentorship and my own coaching without money. I cannot do anything in the 3D plane without the energy and the exchange of money. So it really comes down to, what wattage are you allowing yourself to live life at? And there is such deep programming that there's not enough. This is called scarcity. Scarcity is the lie that all of us are programmed in from birth into our subconscious, which, remember, controls 95% of our decisions. We are programmed the lie that there's not enough. Okay, we're told that we're not enough. We're told that there's not enough money. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil. So first we're told there's not enough money. And then we're told, by the way, money makes you evil. So it's like double whammy. And we're like, okay, well, there's not enough. So how could I even get it? And by the way, like, I'm not evil, so I don't want money. And so then we live our whole lives making choices from scarcity and lack, which are all lies, which are all programs designed to keep us out of our power, designed to keep us unhappy, designed to keep us caged. And pulling yourself out of that and into abundance as a way of life is the process of healing your relationship with money. Now, are there other forms of abundance besides money? Absolutely. You know what true abundance is? Freedom. Freedom to be exactly who you are, do exactly what you want to do in every single moment, okay? Freedom to, it's just freedom. And it can be freedom of time. It can be freedom of, resource. It can be freedom of all of these things. Now, I just want to set the stage because there's a reason why it's such a mind fuck. There's a reason why it's so challenging and so sticky and why people get so weird about it. And I want to share that I was like that for so long. And this is not a fault thing, right? The reason people hire me and the reason why my clients get such deep transformations is because I tell the truth. I tell the truth, and I tell the truth with grace and love and grit and responsibility and tools, right? I'm not just like, hey, here's this thing, you gotta, figure it out. I'm like, here's the tools. Here's the way you can heal yourself. Like, here's the process. No one can do it for you. You are your own healer. You are your own agent. You are the one you've been waiting for. And I give the tools, right? Now, will this podcast change your perspective and potentially change your life? Yes, if you move on it. Will this podcast alone change your relationship with money? No. It can open the doorway. It can show a new possibility. It can give your brain like a whole overhaul on how you think. However, we're going to get into why, I've said it many times on the podcast before, a better world will not be made from information. You got to integrate, and you got to implement, and you got to embody and become. That's what it's required, right? So the first thing is, money is a relationship. Every single thing in our life, we are in relationship with. Like, I am in relationship with water, and I'm currently still on my hydration journey of making sure I drink the correct amount of water that makes me feel amazing, that makes me feel vibrant, that makes me feel excited about life and just like, wow, I'm firing on all cylinders, right? So every single thing in life, we are in relationship with. So we are in relationship with ourselves. We are in relationship with one another. We are in relationship with Mother Earth, and we are in relationship with money. So money, you have a relationship with money. And so if you think about money like it's a relationship in your life, do you just expect money to show up for you when you don't give it any attention? Are you always mad at money? Are you resentful of money? Do you show money appreciation when it shows up? Do you show gratitude? Because when you think about it, like, say money was your friend, and it's like every time money shows up, you're like, oh, it's not enough, it's not enough, it's not enough. Then if you had a friend like that and they kept like, showing up to hang out with you and you just looked at them and you're like, not good enough, not good enough, not good enough, they would stop coming. They would stop being your friend, right? So it's literally just like a friendship, just like a relationship. Do you show money appreciation? Are you even scared to look at money? It's like you cannot expect to have a relationship with something, a healthy relationship, if you don't put time into it, if you're not willing to look at it, if you're not willing to spend, I have a money date every single Friday because Venus Day. Venus is the day of the week that rules money. That was something I started back in 2019 when I got really, really real about healing my relationship with money. Because the reason I know so much about this topic is because I was born and raised by musicians. I was born and raised with the starving artist paradigm that if you want to do something good in the world, that automatically meant you couldn't make money. It was like you had to choose. You could either choose a lot of money and deep unhappiness and evil, or you could choose to follow your heart, follow your soul, follow your call, and really do good in the world. However, you were never going to be able to make good money. That was the programming I was raised with. That so many artists have that. And what I'm encountering now in my journey as a leader and a healer and a mentor is how deep the broke healer paradigm is in the spiritual space. I honestly had no clue. I knew it was a thing. However, I really didn't know the full extent of it, to be quite honest, until I moved to Maui. And I was so shocked and I was so floored by it. And I was deeply disturbed by it. And it was so in my face. And I know that, my journey has always informed me. And my journey has always shown me where I get to heal, where I get to level up, and where I'm meant to experience things so I can teach on them, right? So I was shown again and again and again on Maui how deep the programming was, like how deep the scarcity went, and this broke healer paradigm. And what do I mean by programming? It's brainwashing. We've been brainwashed to believe things that are not for our highest good. We really have at a cellular level. And it's just being aware of that and being the brave people that are willing to go toe to toe with it, because people that want to stay comfortable and people that want to stay in the status quo are not going to be willing to challenge this. Okay? And that's what I have been seeing people in this struggle for far too long. Like, I literally was on a date with someone and they were talking about, everything they do and what they believe in and how, oh yeah, like I'm going to make a better world. Like, I believe in this too. And I was like getting so excited. I'm like, oh wow, like we have so much in common. And then I was like asking them, um, you know, what what is your structure for like your sessions and like all of that stuff. And they literally said to me, they were like, oh, well, I don't really have a structure. And like, I would never, ever charge for my spiritual gifts. That's just wrong. And I just looked at them and to be fully honest, I told them in the middle of the date, I was like, this isn't a match. Our values are not aligned. Like, I just know right in here right now based on that. And I wish you well. I don't want to waste either of our time. But I told them that, that's a core value of mine, and the person that I will be with has to have that shared value. That's just a deal breaker for me. And it's not that it's like zero tolerance or that people have to be the exact same as me. However, when you get to a certain point, you realize that money is very important. And a lot of people won't be willing to say that. Money is an important part of life. Money is how you pay for your basic needs. Money is how you expand. Money is how you exchange for every single thing in the 3D plane. Like this microphone, like this computer, like even this crystal, like my everything, and money is just an expression of values, right? So I'm going a little bit tangenty when I share that story, but the reason why this matters is because I see it in it's such a chronic gap that's blocking a better world. When it comes down to it, this is blocking a better world because there are so many people that have not healed their relationship with money. So therefore, they're not serving the way they want to serve. They're not living their purpose. And this might not be you. However, as I'm sharing this, is there stickiness when I'm sharing this? Are there places where you're like, okay, I have this job and I get this amount of money, and that's enough. That's enough. That's enough, because this is something that I experienced as I grow and as I evolve and as I hold new levels of potency. Um, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, you can have 6 figures, you can have this, and like everybody's like, yeah, go for it, go for your dreams. But then the minute I'm going past that, the minute I'm like, okay, there's more. There's more for me to do. There's more for me to circulate. There's more for me to be fully expressed. Then people flip and they're like, oh, but that's way too big. Nope, not that. Too much, too much, too much, too much, too much, too much. It's all of these weird nuances and weird energetic discordances that cause so much strife with money. And yeah, the first thing is that I want you to know is that it's a relationship. If you don't show up for the relationship, you cannot have a good relationship. You won't have one at all. All right. Or you'll have a really toxic one that runs your life in ways you don't want. Because here's another thing. And it's reminding me of romantic love. Can we just stop pretending that, like, as a collective, that we don't want money? Every single person wants money, wants more money. Why? Because they want to be more fully expressed. They want more freedom. It's not really about the money, right? And it's just like someone they're like, well, I don't really want a relationship. I don't want a romantic partner. And that might be true for some people. However, I don't believe that people don't want love, right? But it's this deep self-denying of the truth, which is actually I do want love, and I want this kind of love, and I want it to be this big, and I want it to be this amazing, and this is how I'm going to feel. Rather than feeling the truth of the desire, people stuff it down and project their discomfort and unhealed energies onto it. So onto a relationship of any kind, whether it's with money, with people, with anything. Now, it's a very charged topic. The first thing I want you to know is that it's a relationship you've got to show up for. Just like any other relationship. If you want it to heal, if you want it to grow, if you want it to be expansive, then you got to show up for it. And it's not an item. It's a relationship and it's a frequency. That is what money is. And it cannot be escaped in the 3D. We all need money. That's how we exchange things in our current reality. Now, maybe one day when we're living in New Earth, we won't need money anymore because it'll just be unconditional love and lavish abundance and prosperity and just like the Eden back to the original state of Mother Earth. However, what we have now is money as our means of exchange, and it's required. And so the first thing to know is that it's a relationship. So when you show up to it like a relationship, rather than a chore, rather than a like, oh my gosh, this sucks, rather than like this awful, awful thing that's like confusing and bad or wrong, then that's the first step in shifting it. All right. Shifting it to a relationship, to nurture, to grow, to show up to consistently in your life. Because if you want to receive in this relationship, you've got to show up. Like if you want to if you're going to receive, you must give, you must show up, right? Okay, number 2 of how to heal your relationship with money. So here's some mindsets that are really going to support you, and they fly in the face of all of the scarcity programming. You may have heard money is the root of all evil, money doesn't grow on trees, there's never enough, like you might have heard the word expensive. Oh, that's so expensive. Or people complaining about money left, right, and center. Like, these are going to be interruptions to that. Okay. So we're starting in the mind because giving the mind a new place to focus and land is really important in the first step. All right. Money is a neutral energy. Money is a neutral energy, just like water, which is why I have water on the altar of this episode. Money is a neutral resource. Okay. Money doesn't do anything good or bad. Okay. Money is used by humans, and humans make good and bad choices. All right. Do I believe in darkness and evil? Yes, because I see it playing out on earth. And scarcity is actually the root of all evil. Every single problem we have in the world is rooted in scarcity, is rooted in fear and not enough, which is scarcity. Scarcity is just the lie that there's not enough, and it makes you fearful for your life. So then you go into survival mode. Okay. Every single problem in the world is coming from scarcity, which is not, money being neutral. Now, some of the most wonderful and amazing and expansive, abundant people I've ever met in my life are incredibly wealthy, and the way they use their money expands light and goodness on our planet. Like in prolific, profound, quantum ways. Okay? So money is a neutral energy. It's neutral, it's neutral, it's neutral. It's just like, I'm going to use this example. I've used it a couple times, I believe, on the podcast, but it's just like a knife, okay? You can use a really big knife to cook an amazing dinner for your family and just create this experience and this nourishment and this love and this memory. Or you can use that same knife to murder someone, right? It's not the knife's fault. It's not the knife, it's the person who's wielding the knife, right? So money, just like the knife, is a neutral energy. You can use it for an amazing meal or, to cause harm. Money is the root of generosity. Money is the root of generosity. I've never been more selfish and self-centered than in the times of my life when I was struggling so deeply with money. When I was like calculating the bill at the checkout and like, oh my gosh, how can I tip? And like being this like miser, like grippy, like tiny mouse, like, oh, I gotta hold on to it because it's gonna leave. And just this like, it's very, very small. Like even when I talk about that and think about that, it's just like very, very small, low vibration energy and now, honestly, when I have moments of scarcity, because I do, we all do, it's not like they go away, right? The first thing I do is give. The first thing I do is give. When I was really beginning my journey of healing my relationship with money, when I would feel activated about something, I would take quarters and I would go down to the laundry machine in my building, like the laundry room, and I would put stacks of quarters and I would pay for people's laundry and be like, I'm going to brighten someone's day with money. And it was like maybe like $3 at the time. However, it's the moment I was going into that scarcity. It's like, nope, money is the root of generosity. It's a neutral energy, and I'm going to use it to be generous because whenever I flow it out in this energy, it comes back to me tenfold. That's how it works. All right. And so that's the other thing about money is it loves to move. When you hold on to it, that's when it can never come because you're just like, oh, there's not enough. And I'm just in this small energy and I'm just like collapsing. And even like speaking in that energy, I feel my body close up. But it's like, you know what I do now? When I tip really, really well, honestly, no matter what's going on in my life, if I choose to go out, I'm tipping like 25%, 30%, depending on where I am in the world. I know how people are paid, and I'm like, yo, this is their livelihood. I'm going to tip really, really well. I always tip in angel numbers, and it's like blessings, blessings, blessings. So money is the root of generosity. I have been able to be so generous when I'm fully resourced. And so think about what you could do when you have overflowing money, how generous you could be. Ooh, you can surprise your friend with a gift. Oh, what if you want to get tickets for you and your family to this one show, or you want to take your parents on a vacation, or, you see what's going on in the world and you're like, wow, this charity I'm going to give to, money is the root of generosity. It's a huge mindset shift. Mindset shift number 3, money is responsibility, self-expression, and freedom. Okay. Money is responsibility. It's you're stewarding a resource. A lot of people reject money because they don't want the responsibility. So your relationship with money is your relationship with responsibility. That might be a tough one to swallow. However, that's really what it is. And it's your self-expression. Because, what I shared at the beginning is like every time I see someone say no when they want to say yes because of money, my heart breaks. Because first of all, that used to be me when I was a starving musician, taking auditions, literally driving around, teaching, working 3 jobs, driving an hour each way to a rehearsal that paid like $30 when I had spent like 5 hours preparing the music. It literally, when you think about it, it's literally modern slavery, like the money system and the matrix of the way we've all been conditioned, like this is just the way it is. That is a scarcity programming in itself, saying it is the way it is because it blocks off abundance, it blocks off potential, it blocks off possibility. So it's self-expression and freedom. Because when I see someone, especially women, when I see a woman say no to something her soul really, really wants because of money, I'm literally watching someone fracture their own destiny before my eyes. And it breaks my heart. And I used to be in that space too. And I did so much deep healing work on this. That's the only way I can teach on this. And it's freedom. Freedom to be who you really are and do what you want to do. Do what makes your heart happy. Say no to things. Do you know how many things I've been able to say no to because of money? No to clients that don't value me. No to situations that don't value me. No to partnerships. Because I have my own flow. A lot of people stay in situations where they don't feel free, where they're not honored because of money. Okay, money is the great amplifier. It just amplifies everything it touches. So if you are an amazing person, which I know if you are listening to this episode, you are, because you believe in a better world, money in your hands can change reality for the better. Makes love, makes truth, makes justice, makes change for the better in unconditional love. It's just an amplifier. So one of my teachers, Chris Harder, he always says, when good people make great money, they do great things. Or when good people make good money, they do great things, right? I would rather say, when extraordinary people make extraordinary money, They do mind-blowing things. But it really is, it's just an amplifier. And all of this is, again, it's shattering a lot of the status quo beliefs. And you've got to be willing to go here and change the whole way you think about money, change all your mindsets. And we're going to get into, other ways. Here's the final mindset about money. Money is God source energy. Money is God source energy. That's what I really believe and feel with money. Money is one of the most spiritual things in my life. And I have 2 other episodes about money. I have one called The Spirituality of Money and one called When $1,000 is More Than $100. No, When $2,000 is More Than 200, I think. It's something like that, but they're both about money. This is an updated version because I believe both of those are at least a year old. Money is God source energy. The universe is my sugar daddy. And when money shows up in my life, I know that I'm being supported by the divine. I know that I'm being supported by God. I know that I'm being supported by the stars, by spirit, by all of these things. And it's not like when money is not there, I'm not supported by God's source. However, like when you really shift your mindset, instead of like, oh, money is the root of all evil, it's like money is God's source energy. Money is how I get resourced. You know how much healing I've been able to do with more money? Cryotherapy, massage, acupuncture, water filters, so I'm drinking clean water, like normal basic life stuff because of money. And I'm like, wow, I'm healing myself because of money. And it's not, I love the energy of money because money is God's source. And every time it comes into my life, I'm like, woohoo, I'm supported. And then every time I spend it, I bless it on the way out. I say more where that came from. I created this and I will create more. I'm grateful to participate. All right. I'm grateful to participate in the flow. There's nothing more intimate than money for your connection to spirit, for your connection to source, and just your connection to being provided for, right? Do we get to do things to create value and create the flow of money, especially if you're an entrepreneur? Yes. Do you need to be an entrepreneur? No. Like, I've had clients with many different types of careers. I've had clients manifest money from out of the blue, like, oh, and it's very energetic. It's like, oh, I said yes to this thing because, it was a yes in my body. And then like a week later, they find out, oh, there's actually this like account that your family member had that has like 10K, 20K in it that they left to you. And it's like, oh my God, all that money just showed up to support you, right? So it's just really, really powerful. And just having like random checks come in the mail. Like, I literally, like the other day, this was such a God moment because I was really like, okay, I've been going through a lot in my transition from Maui and like, where am I going next? And what are the steps? And just like all of that. And I asked for a sign and I said, show me in money. Show me in money today. This is honestly one of the ways I communicate with the spirit. I'm like, show me in cash flow, show me in money, just show me. And then literally an hour later, I got this random like Starbucks gift card from someone that I worked with. She was my graphic designer for one of my first websites like 2 years ago. And I got a Starbucks gift card from her and it was like, thank you for being such an amazing client to work with. And I was like, I love how like creative that is, It wasn't like someone signed up for one of my programs or my offering or my mentorship or something like that. And it wasn't like it was just so creative and it showed up like immediately. And I was like, oh wow, I love this so much. So those are the mindsets to choose about money. So the third step, change your input. If you want to heal your relationship with money, you must change your input. That means your relationships, the rhetoric, and you must reject and refuse the status quo, because the status quo about money is all in lack and scarcity. And so the fact that you are even healing your money is a revolutionary act. It's a radical act. People around you won't get it. Like, honestly, most people will not do this work because it's so deeply challenging. And yeah, at the very same time, I know that every human has such a deep desire to be free, to be fully expressed, and to be the real version of themselves, right? Which is all linked to money in this lifetime. Now, it's not like you can't be happy without money. However, I really do believe money can buy happiness. And that might be triggering to hear. One example of this is when, like, okay, me getting a surfing lesson, me renting a bike, me taking my client skydiving, like all of that. How did I do it? Money. Did it bring me joy and happiness? Abso-fucking-lutely. Okay. You are not meant to be caged. You are not meant to be dimmed. You are not meant to be only burning a certain level of brightness. Limitless, babe. Limitless. So your relationships, if the people around you are stuck in the scarcity spiral, you've got to limit your time with them, because hearing those things and being in that energy is a frequency that will affect you. It will affect your mindset. It will affect your heart set, because it takes a lot to change this programming. And if you're constantly being drowned and inundated with it through your relationships, you will be affected by that. You really will. That's why people say your network is your net worth. And it's not like it means everything, but it's more like it means a lot more than people are willing to admit. It really does, because it's a frequency, it's a way of life, it's an embodiment. So get really real on your relationships. Are all of your friends broke? Are all of the people you're around, are they always complaining about money? That must shift. Okay, rhetoric. Since I've been on the mainland, I've never heard the word expensive more. And it made me really, really mad at first. And then I just let it go, because I'm like, it's not, I'm not going to sit here and engage with that energy, but I just put, earmuffs on my ears, and I just choose, I don't hear this, and I refuse to accept this, because that's just a form of complaining. Right. And if you complain about something, that means you don't like it. And how on earth are you going to create more of it? You aren't. So be aware of your rhetoric. How much do you say the word expensive? How much do you say, something that I have been using is my financial alignment. Like if somebody asks me to do something and it's not a priority for me, then I just say that. Like, people ask me all the time to do things that honestly I don't care about, and I don't want to spend my money on it because it's not a priority for me. All right. And I just say, hey, not my thing, not a financial priority for me. So I'm not going to do that. However, I would love to do this to, like, can we find something else where we can spend time together that is in financial alignment? Or like, there's still things that are not financially aligned for me right now. Like, okay, one example, like buy a G-Wagon or buy a house on Maui. Like, I'm not in the 3D reality of that being in my bank account today. So I just say it's not aligned for me financially right now. And I also say I can't wait for when it is. So something that I do a lot is I go into stores and I go and I look at things that are, lots and lots of money to purchase that I will get one day. And I just look at it and I'm like, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get that. Like, seriously, so excited. I did it with this necklace right here. I saw this necklace. It is a aquamarine pure crystal necklace for my throat chakra. If you are listening to the podcast, without video. I knew I was going to have this necklace a year before I actually bought it. And I would go into that shop and I would try it on. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot wait. And I had a goal. And I was like, when I reach this goal, this is my celebration piece. And I will tell you, I never felt so proud and excited when I walked in there and I said, I'm ready to buy the necklace. And the people knew me at this point. They're like, oh, she's getting it today. And it was like, I didn't put it on credit. Do credit cards have a purpose? And debt, does that have a purpose? Yes. I have leveraged debt to start my business. I've leveraged debt to invest in mentorship, and it's about being smart and strategic with it. However, with things like this, I choose to be with cash because it's just so intimate. It's just so intimate. So you've got to change your input, the rhetoric, the relationships, and then you must reject and refuse the status quo. I use the word investment a lot. When I go buy all organic groceries, honestly, it's not expensive. You know what's expensive? Not prioritizing your health and being sick. That's really expensive. I buy all organic because I invest in my health and that's what I value. Your money is an expression of your values. So if you really want to know what you actually value in your life, not what you want to value, not what you aspire to, but what you actually value, go look in your bank account and tell me what you're spending money on. That shows your real values. Okay. Take a drink of water. Number 4, money is a nervous system process. So healing your relationship with money is a nervous system process. So we start with the mind because that gives you a place to focus on, okay? However, mindset is not going to heal your money. I'll be the first one to say it. I said money mantras for years and years and years. I made a lot of headway. I made a lot of progress, okay? I asked for a raise, I got a raise. I started my own business and, was making triple, maybe quadruple, because that's the rate that I wanted to make at the time. And that was a really big stretch for me at the time. And I would practice saying in the mirror, like, my rate is $100 an hour. And it was like such a stretch for me at the time. And I would just have so much love for that version of myself where I would just stand in the mirror and be like, it's $100 an hour. Oh yeah, $100 an hour. And I would just say it until it was neutral and normal and regular. And then I would just be so neutral and normal and regular in a conversation with potential clients. And it was like not a big deal, right? However, my life did not fully take off into my full potential. And still to this day, I'm going to be accessing new levels of my potential until the day I die because that's just who I am. And that's what I really believe the core of the human spirit is: progress and growth and expansion. Like, we're happiest when we're making progress in things that we care about and things that we love, whether it's music, whether it's dance, whether it's art, whether it's sharing your gifts, whether it is being a mom, whether it's being a teacher, like whether, all of it is you being the realest you, right? And that's always going to be a process. You will never access your full wattage and keep expanding and healing your relationship with money through the mind alone. Why? Because money is tied directly to the nervous system. Why? Because money is how we pay for things. This whole episode, I've been like, we cannot exist in the earthly plane without money. Okay? Unless you want to be homeless and starving, which no one does, which that's why I call it the starving artist paradigm and the broke healer paradigm, because it's like, that is a broken life where people have an empty cup. And part of this whole, conversation and way of living of abundance and relationship with money is like a refusal to participate in the old patterning that tells you you have to put everybody else before yourself. And people, pouring from an empty cup, which is not pouring at all. There's nothing in there. And so you end up extracting your own life force. And then we wonder why people get sick. We wonder why there's disease. We wonder why people are burnt out. We wonder why people are sad and depressed. It's like, yeah, people are pouring from an empty cup. They're extracting their own life force. They're deeply separated from their soul. And it has everything to do with money. And so it's a nervous system process because money pays for food. Money pays for rent. Money pays for cars. Money pays for basic human things. And so everything that comes up with money, maybe even things I'm saying in this episode, are activating your nervous system response. And so you immediately go into chronic fight or flight. This is a life or death situation. So it's like every time you're like at a checkout and you feel constriction in your body, that's your nervous system telling you your relationship with money. That constriction, that's the chronic fight or flight, where it's like life or death, life or death, life or death. So the reason why the mind doesn't work fully is because it's only 5% of the equation. The rest lives in your body. Everything from your bloodline, everything from past lives. A lot of spiritual people took oaths of poverty in past lives because it was such a deep program that, I am a healer and I just don't charge and I'm supposed to be poor. Like that's a really big thing that a lot of people did in past lives that they carry into this life. And I've helped a lot of clients release that in breath work. Because we go to the root of the nervous system and we peel back all of this scarcity and we peel back all this not enoughness and we peel back the lies that there's not enough and we peel back the lies that you've got to be small or that you being wealthy hurts others. It's like your wealth, your abundance, your liberation, your expansion, your biggest, brightest shining light is an example for others. It shines the light for what's possible for them too. And will there be people that don't get it and demonize you and throw shade? Yes. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I never expected this. I literally never expect, and it's silly because when I think about it, when I take a step back and think about it, it's like, it makes sense because this is such activating work and most people won't do it. When people see something that they deeply desire that they don't understand and it's hijacked their nervous system, they lash out at it. Jealousy is just an unacknowledged, unmet desire within. And so they're like, well, if I can't have it, then why does she have it? And then, you know what I'm saying? So that's all a nervous system thing. And that for me has given, both myself and others a lot of grace because it's like, it's not their soul, it's their nervous system. And my nervous system has been really activated with this topic in general over the years, every single layer. And now I'm moving into a new layer of money and healing and wealth and abundance. And it's like, okay, here we go. And I'm doing breath work and I'm doing my nervous system reset daily to calibrate my body to new levels of wealth. Because my body feels safe receiving 10K per month, receiving 20K per month. And right now I'm calibrating my nervous system for 50K per month. And, these numbers might be a lot to you. They might be like nothing to you. It depends on where you are in your journey. Why do I want that? Just because I want it. Because I want it, because there's a lifestyle I want, and there's a level of contribution that I want. And there's goals that I have. Goals for things I want to do in my life, properties, things I want to do with my nieces, like all of that. And when good people make good money, they do great things. So if I'm going to keep growing my mission and I'm going to write all these books and I'm going to do all these live events, you got to have money for that. You can't sustain the mission without money. So, Yeah, it's a nervous system process. That's the biggest thing for you to know. And I say process because it takes time. It's not like you do one breathwork journey and all of a sudden you feel safe, because this comes down to, what do you feel safe receiving? You don't do one breathwork journey and automatically feel safe receiving $10,000 and then a week later get $10,000. That's not how it works. And Amazon Prime and all of that has really conditioned, especially the new generation, which is why I will always, 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 first of all, I'm a musician and a music lover, but mastering an instrument teaches kids and young people the process of mastering a craft and mastering a skill set and mastering a process and delayed gratification. And so many people are like, yeah, I want to heal my relationship with money. I did one breathwork journey. Where's the money? And that's just like being like, hey, I went on one date with you. Where's my ring? Where's the proposal? Where's the marriage? Where's the happy marriage? And it's like, yo, you went on one date. You got to show up for the process. So, number 5, and I've shared this already, ultimately, it's about liberation and change. Money is about liberation and change. Liberation of you, liberation of all of us, and then change. Because when we're liberated, we get to be ourselves. And that, when it comes down to it, the whole point of life is to remember who you are and be that. And when we all do that, and we all live our real life, and we're rooted in these ideas of abundance, not in ideas, but the way we live, that's when we change the world. That's when we make a better world. That's when we have new earth. So, number 6, money allows your soul to be fully expressed, and it's required on our planet. I've already shared that. I wrote down this list and then I literally just started channeling. It's about allowing your soul to be fully expressed. So when I say that, I want you to get really real and maybe even journal about this. And the reason why I've been feeling a pull to make this episode, like, it's been in my channel for maybe a month. And I was like, ooh, it really feels like it's time. And then I was looking at the astrology, and Jupiter is stationing direct the day that this episode is going to drop in my second house of money. So it's like expansion of money. And it's also happening on top of my Lilith. And Lilith, which I talked about Lilith, I believe, in the October 2024 astrology reading episode. Lilith rules not submitting. And she's the dark divine feminine. And she is the wild nature of fully expressed desires. So it's like a lot of repressed desires. And what I see is there's a lot of repressed desires for money. And, people cast out Lilith because she won't comply, because she refuses to submit. She refuses to stand in line. She refuses to participate in things she doesn't believe in. Well, that's me with money. And that's all of New Earth leaders with money, right? The status quo is not going to like it. Because what happens when you believe in abundance and not just believe it, you create it? You're free. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to follow those rules. You don't have to dim your light. You don't have to stand in line. You don't have to do shit that's wrong. You don't have to work a job that sucks your soul. You're free, right? So it's all about you being fully expressed, and it's required on our planet. It's not optional. When I see someone, are there all different forms of abundance? Yes. Time, I look out at Mother Earth, and it's like every single office space I manifest has a beautiful view of Mother Earth. I'm looking over a huge forest in northern Michigan, and the sun is shining, and the branches are dancing. If you ever forget about limitless abundance, just go outside in nature and look at all the trees and look at all the leaves. And it's like, wow, there's literally so much. Mother Earth isn't worried about abundance. There's always more than enough, right? That's what it is with money. And it's required on our planet. The things we see with like war and all of that. War takes a lot of money. My tax dollars in the US right now are going to fund war. And it makes me really upset because that's not what I believe in. So, light workers, people with beautiful hearts like you and me and all of New Earth creators, we must be fully resourced so we can advance love on the planet. Right now, the scales are tipped in the other way. So we got to get more people with lots of money because money is love, money is abundance, money is God source energy, circulating it to make a better world. Okay, and then the last how to or step, wealth is an identity and a way of being. Wealth is an identity and a way of being. It's a choice for who you are. And it really, you know what it is? It's a choice and a knowing and a conscious decision to live that you're a child of the stars and you are worthy of every single one of your desires. And that energy is always flowing. You can send it out and it comes right back and you can receive. It's just like breathing. The inhale you receive, the exhale you expend, right? And it's really, really, really expensive to be cheap. The more you grip, the more you cut off and kink the hose of magic and abundance and money. And wealth is an identity of abundance, love, and generosity. It's a way of being. And when you choose wealth as a way of life, it's who you are, then money always will come around some way, somehow, because of the way you move. All right. So this concludes this episode. I believe that's complete. I would love to hear from you how this landed for you, what idea stuck out to you. First of all, what idea excites you the most? Second of all, what idea scares you the most? You can email me. My email is in the show notes. You can message me on Instagram. And if you want to go deeper into this work, honestly, the way that you're really going to heal your relationship with money is one-on-one mentorship. Because we'll go deep and do consistent nervous system reset through breath work. I will be coaching you daily because this is not something that happens in a masterclass or overnight. This is something that takes months and months and months. Like I was actively healing my nervous system daily, strategically for money for over a year before I ever created a 10K month in my business. So it's a process, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to lie to you about, there's all these like just get rich quick and all of that. And that's not wealth, it's not. Can you have rapid change? Yes. However, if you want sustainable change, it's a process. So that's the first invitation. One-on-one mentorship is where you want to go if you want to go deep into this with me. Now, other places you can work with me. First of all, if you want to receive daily inspiration from me, sign up for Letters to Leaders. It's my Monday through Friday brief email where I just drop in a golden nugget of wisdom for you that's completely off social media. I've been getting so much deep guidance to take steps back from social media more than ever. So everything I've been using social media for right now is funneling people to my podcast and Letters to Leaders because, as time unfolds, I'm going to step away further and further and further from social. So there's that. And then also I have a free masterclass, my first free, not masterclass, a free 3-day live event called Pioneer. It's happening October 14th through the 16th, 2024. If you're listening to this episode after that, the link to sign up will be in the show notes. It will be there and you can access it at any time. This is self-leadership codes. This is special downloads I got since eclipse season, and it's all about being a pioneer. And if you are going to heal your relationship with money and be a wealthy mystic and steward your money on behalf of a better world and being the fully expressed you through the energy of money, you are a pioneer. This is someone who leads. This is not a dreamer. This is a leader. And this is free. I really, really invite you to sign up and join us. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. So those are the 3 portals: one-on-one mentorship, letters to leaders, and the free 3-day training Pioneer. There will be some other goodies in the show notes that you can check out if you desire. And yeah, I hope to see you there. I will see you there. How about that? I will see you there. And I will say, the more this episode stretched you out of your comfort zone, the more that this work is knocking on your door to be done. And it doesn't matter where you are in your journey, this work is always going to help you. So I do a lot of that in one-on-one mentorship. And spoiler alert, one of the biggest money lessons that comes from one-on-one mentorship is the actual investment. A lot of people come to me that want to do one-on-one mentorship, and a lot of people say no because of the investment. And that's one of those things where I'm like, wow, it just breaks my soul because I can see how excited they are. It's like, oh, wow, this and this and this and this and that. And they're like, oh, and it's part of it. So I have things like people can put a deposit down to lock in the pricing and come back later when they've got the full investment. Like there's payment plans, there's all these different things, but that's part of it. So if you're wondering like, yeah, I want to heal my money. However, like, how do I invest? Apply and let's have that conversation. However, I want you to just know that that's part of it. Like betting on yourself through the energy of money is part of it. If you're not willing to invest in healing with money, how are you going to make money? You know what I'm saying? So I love you. I believe in a better world. I believe in an abundant world. May all of the money healing come your way on purpose because you choose it. And may all beings be happy and free. And may our thoughts and our words and our actions and our money directly contribute to that happiness and that freedom. Go out there, make a stranger smile. Ooh, I have a challenge. Go make a stranger smile by giving them money. You really want to see where you are with abundance? Give a stranger $5. Go hide dollar bills in books at Target for people to find when they buy them. Do something like that. Make a stranger smile like that. Be the reason they believe again. This concludes this episode. This was a big one. This was a long one. I love you. Be the change, be the light, be the wealth, be the sacred disruption to all the scarcity lies, and be the abundant, fully expressed soul you came here to be through money. And I will see you next time on A Better World with Adrienne.